best bridge between despair and hope is a good night's sleep. A good night's sleep empowers the mind and enables the body to recover from the next day's rigor. But several nationwide surveys have found that sleep troubles have become a part of life of a large number of Indians, especially after the pandemic. Corporate employees are at the receiving end of some of this. Studies have shown an association between employees' sleep disturbances and a wide variety of negative occupational outcomes such as absenteeism, decreased productivity, accidents and injuries, and higher healthcare costs. Today, on World Sleep Day, we are joined by an eminent panel of subject matter experts who will help us understand the issues surrounding sleep for corporate employees and help us find solutions on Kurlon Presents Good Sleep Equals Good Health, an Ignite BS marketing initiative. Kurlon, India's #1 mattress brand, helping India sleep healthy. We are joined by the Chief Brand Officer of Kurlon Mattresses, Mr. Prashant Deshpande, the Chief Executive Officer and Director of Mirai Asset Investment Managers India Private Limited, Mr. Swaroop Mohanty, the Group CMO of Reliance Industries, Dr. R. Rajesh, Dr. Rahul Sharma, who is the Additional Director, Pulmonology and Critical Care, Fortis Hospital, Noida, and the CHRO of iFinance, Mr. Ankur Sharma. And we'll straight away go, first of all, to Mr. Ankur Sharma, who handles an employee base of about 4,500 people. So to set the premise right, Mr. Sharma, would you agree that poor sleep does affect employee productivity?
Absolutely, 100.0%. A poor sleep definitely impacts employees' productivity and mental wellness. We have seen people who remove all the clutter in their life, whose lifestyles are pretty straightforward and simple. They go to home on time and sleep on time, are pretty much the high performers. There have been enough studies, including the Ivy League campuses, where strong correlations have been established between good sleep and employee productivity.
All right. And have you seen any noticeable changes in performance due to a change in sleep pattern post the pandemic? Have you seen any difference happening?
In our organization, we have a shut at 8 policy. What it means is at 8 p.m., you go back home, the office gets locked out, the lights get switched off. The reason is we want people to come afresh next day, focus 8 to 9 hours exclusively on work. And when they are not at work, they should have a perfect work-life balance. During the pandemic, this was not the case.
Dr. Rahul Sharma, just to bring in the doctor perspective on this, what are some of the common sleep-related issues that you've come across on a daily basis? And how do you suggest the corporate employees tackle them?
I think sleep is the most important part of anyone's life because 1/3 of our lives goes into sleep, and this is basically to refresh and rejuvenate our body and mind. So it is very, very important, and we have seen. So as the life goes, the struggle of the life, the stress factor, the job profile, all these things related stresses are there, and which definitely impacts our quality of life as well as the duration of sleep. So that is very, very important that we should have a good amount of sleep. We see a lot of patients because of stress, they are not able to sleep properly. And this condition is called sleep apnea. And as you were talking about, post-pandemic effects. So we have seen people have gained weight while they are working from home, not doing their exercises, eating all kind of stuff. And now they have, gained weight. Even people who suffered from COVID and took the dose of steroids, they also gain weight. And most of these patients has now daytime lethargy, sleepiness, poor concentration, poor quality of life, poor performance. Even the sexual life gets impacted, the productivity goes down. And most of the common cause that we are seeing in these patients is because of sleep apnea. So sleep apnea is nothing that there are, habitual snorers, and there are snorers in which you have daytime symptoms. So people who snore in the night and the quality of sleep affects, they have manifestation in the daytime in terms of lethargy, body aches, and they usually correlate it with the work that we are overworked. That's why it is happening. Poor performance, frequent urination in the night, morning dryness of mouth. There are patients who are suffering from metabolic diseases like diabetes, hypertension, thyroid disorders. Most of the people who believe that they are not well controlled or they are requiring multiple doses of medication to control this, these patients have sleep apnea. So probably sleep apnea and insomnia, where the patients or the person feel difficulty initiating sleep or maintaining sleeps, are the two most common type of sleep disorders that we frequently see in, I would say, the working group of people.
All right, that's an interesting perspective. Dr. Rajesh, would you like to weigh in on this? You head the corporate medical division at Reliance. Do employees come, just Dr. Sharma just mentioned about sleep apnea. Have you seen employees coming to you with such issues, to the corporate medical team with such issues? Have they been reaching out?
I'm very happy to say your business standard has chosen a very good thing. Good sleep is equal to good health. Now coming to your question of employees reporting to medical services regarding sleep problems, very few times which we have seen is a direct. Okay, I'm not having a good sleep, my sleep is disturbed and other things. But many times they are indirect sign symptoms.
All right.
Like, sir, we are not able to focus. That is number one. Something lethargic feeling, something they are sleeping in the afternoon at the office, something interrelationship disturbance, something as they are becoming more anger, and something like certain time they respond, it will something like anxiety, depression, or something they may respond like as overweight also. Something they come with the, like our previous speakers told, like blood pressure. They're maybe having a blood pressure rise, then we'll check it and ask details, then it will come out, okay, sir, I'm not able to sleep in the night in the proper way. So there are many reasons, indirect sign symptoms, they will come, and we when take the whole history, then we'll come to know the sleep is one of the portion where is a major factor is there.
All right. And how do you, like, at your level, what is your first response to tackle it? Is it education? Is it better sleep education? How do you tackle that on your level?
In the recent World Economic Forum in 2023, what they have decided, whatever the sustainable goals already has disturbed across the world, and they have made an impact on the holistic health. And every corporate has to take care of the holistic health.
All right.
Now, holistic health has a different components. It's a physical health, it's a mental health, it is a social health, it is a spiritual health, it is occupational health. Now, if you think from physical health point of view, across, if you see, physical health, they think diet and exercise. The third portion, which is also an important portion of relaxation, sleep, stress management, they don't think of that. Okay. This has to be given also with the diet and exercise the priority. Now, how to sensitize? The most important in anything is the three principles. One is sensitization, awareness. Once you are aware, you know better and you do the things. Second is the primary prevention. Prevention at the start level. And third, when you have diagnosed something, then you have to manage the things. Now at our level, at Reliance, we have for the holistic health, we have made whole goal as a vision, as a Swast, what we call as a Reliance Swast, which is a committee consisting of doctors, HR, CS guys, and others. And we have a holistic program to manage all the aspects of these things. Right. Regarding webinars, sensitization, individual level implementation, and primary prevention. Now, at the awareness level, if you ask me, the employee or those things, how can they have a good sleep? Suppose they are having some problems. In a corporate, we also observe, whatever you say, targets are important. When targets are more important, automatically there is some system, okay, work late, these things. Okay. But every one of us has to understand few things. That sleep disturbance is due to many, how they're having a good sleep. One is the physical factors. Second is the psychological factor. Third is the illness. Now, physical factors, if suppose see, everyone should aware the time management. The priority is the time management. Yeah. The second thing is having a good sleep habit. I want to get a good sleep for 7 to 8 hours. I have to go to bed at 11 o'clock. Morning, I have to get up at 6 o'clock. Third, now many corporate employees and other things having some habits of coffee in the late night, or alcohol, or smoking, or going to gym at night, 9 p.m., 10 p.m. If you want to sleep, these habits has to be
All right.
goes out. We
Very
have to have a
interesting
good cultural
perspective,
habits.
Dr.
If
Rajesh.
you want to do an exercise, you do it. And second is the environmental factors. When you want a good sleep, your own environment where you are sleeping, you have a no lights, proper lights, dim lights, you have a no noise, you have no music. And third most important is nowadays is the relaxation. When you go to bed and you want to good sleep for 7 to 8 hours, you have some technique of meditation for 2 to 5 minutes, some relaxation techniques where you can get a good sleep.
Mr. Mohanty, would you like to weigh in into more such at a personal level, how a person can, ease into sleep? And what, in your opinion, what are like the current most pressing issues that are affecting sleep right now? If you could weigh in.
I mean, for me personally, let me tell you, I've always worked in Indian organizations, and working for a Korean organization changed everything. Because when you work with the Koreans, there is only one word to everything at the end of everything: are you healthy? You know, the impose or the way they impose on every employee being healthy is incredible. And in that country, if you see from a child to the adult, the realization of the importance of health is so much. Most of the children don't go to McDonald's there. That's the only country which recognizes health at that young age. So it's been 12 years with a Korean organization. So being healthy has become very ingrained, and there are eminent doctors on this panel. You look at any form of health or you do anything, it finally bottoms down to how much sleep you're getting. And as an individual who's been impacted by migraine for a long time, my single trigger is my lack of sleep. I do travel 2 to 3 days a week, so that I can get away with that excuse, but that is not an excuse because it's impacting me. And once you realize that early, then you start working on it. I think a lot has to be with the environment that is around you in your office space, because we spend more time in office than we do at home. That's why at Mirai Asset, we come in at 9 and we go home at 6. We are there to office time. By 6:30, we are home. The lights are almost off. By 6:30, there is one part which works second half. So that's the only part which is there. So people who are there 6:30 onwards are definitely not efficient workers in our organization. That's where you start from. The second part is, when you look at your office spaces, they're getting younger. And what is impacting the young is more screen time or addiction to screen time, which does take a toll on the sleep. And that's something which you have to sort of educate. They don't listen to you. That's a separate issue. Who listens to you on screen time nowadays? So that I think is something which we have been observing. So as a result, what we did to impart some kind of importance to it, we as an organization started doing a health checkup for everybody. We don't get the health reports yet, but everybody, we wanted them to go in through the health checkup to get to know any warning signals that are there. And we have enough contests 12 months a year surrounding health to make it important that people who are healthy are the people who are wanted in the organization. Trust me, including me, anybody who has a little bit of a tummy is called out in Mirai. I said, what is happening?
That's a very interesting perspective, though.
Anybody, trust me, from my bosses, they'll point it out, what's happening to you. So that's how you make a little kind of subtle push or nudges towards people to be hungry. Anybody who runs a marathon is almost at an appraisal level ticked off in the organization. People who take stairs are also classified as different people. So you can build in a number of things to enforce the importance of health, then leave it to the organization or to the individual to take it on from there. All that has had a significant impact on me as a person who otherwise can become very lazy. But 12 years in a Korean organization has changed me a lot, is all I can say.
Very interesting perspective out there. Mr. Deshpande, you being the chief brand officer of a mattress, of Kurlon mattresses, I definitely agree that most of the panelists would agree that mattress play a very major role in how we wake up the next morning. How would you say that, in your opinion, what are some of the common factors that first of all contribute to poor quality sleep besides the stress from office? And how do you suggest we can address this at a personal level? We'll hear from Mr. Sharma how to do it at an organization level, but how to manage these problems at a personal level, according to you?
Yeah, thanks for making me present here. And I really appreciate Dr. Rahul has clearly mentioned what are the causes for the bad sleep or any health issues. We categorize into two. One is the external and the internal factor. Internal factor, Dr. Rahul has mentioned what are the stress, the lifestyle, their habits, and lack of exercise and all. The external part is when it comes to the even if they do all those things, but still lot of most of the what we see in the customers, they come to us and they ask for I've been dieting well and I've been doing yoga and all, but still somehow I'm not able to have a proper or sound sleep. Then the obvious reason is since the lifestyle, everything is improved, but still the sleep pattern has not improved, mainly because of the mattress. And surprisingly and shockingly, we do get a lot of customers saying, when did you change your mattress? When did you bought your last mattress? We don't know, maybe 8 years back, a decade back, we don't know. So that's a surprisingly shocking that a lot of consumers are using still old mattress, but what we recommend as in when the body changes and the life stage of the human changes. Well, I was a bachelor, married, a married woman when she was a single. Then when she conceives, her body pattern, the sleep pattern keeps changing. So it's high time that every time, at least we recommend every 3 years, they should keep checking the mattress, health of the mattress. And if required, they need to check and update and upgrade the mattress. It's very, very important to upgrade and change the mattress frequently.
All right. Very interesting perspective there as well. Dr. Sharma, Dr. Rahul Sharma, the question of the hour is to you. How much sleep should employees be getting on a nightly basis? And how can they tell if they're getting enough?
So I think this is very, very important when we talk about sleep. What is the duration of sleep and how much the quality of sleep that we are taking. It is not the length which is very, very important. It is the quality of sleep which is also equally important, or rather more important than the duration of sleep. And the length of sleep is not fixed for anyone. So most of the time when you start from a kid, the newborn sleeps almost 18 hours a day. Then as you grow old, the kids sleep around 12 hours a day. In the most productive part of our life, usually 7 to 8 hours of sleep is good enough. But I believe that 80% of the people are not taking that much amount of sleep. So we are just managing, and on the weekdays, we are doing this 5-6 hours of sleep, and we try to catch up in the weekends that will take more naps, but it doesn't do you any good. You cannot restore your sleep if you are taking in the weekends. So it is very, very important that you maintain a sleep cycle with good time to start the sleep and good time to wake up.
All right.
Because if you will not manage your biological clock, then your biological clock is always confused at what time we need to sleep and what time we need to wake up, and that create a lot of confusion in your brain. That's why we always you see people who are not getting adequate sleep in terms of quality or quantity. They have this grogginess in the morning, lethargy. They don't want to do anything. They are addicted to a cup of coffee or teas in the morning hours, and they're not able to understand that this is the refreshing sleep that we had. So it is very, very important that in most productive year of life, like from 20 to 50, the usual duration of sleep that they describe is from 7 to 8 hours, but 6 to 7 hours is also important. Any sleep less than that will gives you not only the next day effect, but in long term also it increases the inflammation in the body. It increases the oxidants in the body, pose you to the risk of diabetes, hypertension, cardiac diseases, stroke, gastric problems, metabolic disorders, obesity. All these things increases when you are having less quality of sleep or less quantity of sleep. So this is very, very important that we should give adequate importance. And again, since I'm in the corporate sector where people talk about loyalty towards their corporates or loyalty towards their companies. So it is very, very important, if you are loyal towards your company, you should sleep adequately so that you can give adequate, efficiency to your company for the productivity.
All right. And do the mattresses that a person sleeps on matter and the pillows that they sleep on matter in the sleep quality? How much is the...
As the medical knowledge goes in this, most of these comforters or mattresses are basically for the people who have spine or bone related problems. Otherwise, if you're comfortable and you're getting good sleep, I don't think it matters a lot. But nowadays, since we are sleeping less, so comfort is again very, very important. Most of the mattresses that are coming, they're coming on the basis of your cervical bones, cervical problems, backaches. These are the mattresses which is coming on the basis of this. So most of the people who have this orthopedic problem, probably mattresses plays a very important role. Otherwise, comfort is very, very important. My personal feeling is that the hotel mattress is very, very uncomfortable to sleep, although they are very, very soft and they are very, very jumpy, but they are not very good to sleep. So I don't feel very comfortable when I'm sleeping in a hotel for 2-3 days on a conference. But yes, people do have different kind of habits. So it is the personal choice regarding the mattresses, that if you feel comfortable, you need to choose according to your comfort. But most of the time, as far as the medical part goes, these are basically invented for orthopedic problems.
Right. Mr. Sharma, I want to know that does it make a real difference when a company offers training or resources to help employees improve their sleep habits? Have you seen a real difference happening, or it just ends up being just another training program?
Last 2-3 years, what we have been trying to do is run some wellness campaigns and educate the employees on various aspects of wellness, one of which is how to sleep better. So, for instance, some of the things that we talk about is how do you focus on sleeping better? So, keep your mobile phones outside the bedroom, for example. Be quiet. So, if you keep your distractions away, you will be able to sleep. If you are trying to sleep and suddenly your mobile chimes, you obviously, as a human, get curious to know who messaged. And today, in the age of notifications and all the social media, there are too many distractions at play. So we have seen people coming back and appreciating that what you told us, I tried to implement it, and it really helped me. So we do a lot of training programs which are non-wellness related, but I think the most successful one that we have seen, particularly in the context of pandemic and even in the aftermath, has been the wellness campaigns that we have been running. And it is not just the physical wellness that we are focusing on; it is also the mental wellness.
Right, and so you have seen improvement, a good feedback. And how do you judge? Like, what are the parameters of judging the, how successful was your training program? How do you judge that?
So, for instance, so before and after the training, we do a pre and post assessment. And what we also do is we track the performance and the productivity of people. A large chunk of our workforce is basically the sales staff, and it is really easy to assess the productivity when you are tracking numbers. So what we have seen is when people, like I said, we focus on telling them that you take rest, go home on time. And for women, we tell them to even go home before it gets dark, because there are safety aspects also at play there. So what we see is people who really focus during the working hours on work, they are more productive. And people who tend to take too many breaks in between during the working hours, and then they try to log in back when they get back home, so they come back late next day, their deliverables are getting delayed. So there are so many tangible things that we see apart from the raw data that we have seen in terms of productivity.
Very classic symptoms, very classic signs, basically, is what you're saying.
Correct.
All right. Mr. Mohanty, would you share some leadership-led changes in which corporate entities can prevent burnouts and support work-life balance and better sleep for their employees?
So I think it's a very pertinent question, because everything is top down, right? It's up to the top to demonstrate that they mean their commitment to making the environment that employees come to are conducive, the environment that they come to are less in stress, And that you can do by keeping things very simple. And then the first thing of simplicity starts with when office starts and when it ends. Ensure that there is a good lunch break for people. Ensure that the work load on people is that much. If the workload is more, then start employing more people, and ensure that broadly the weekends are left to them, and none of the top management calls their people to office if it's a holiday. It is definitely not a good sign when the youngster says that my boss has called, and hence I have to come to work, and those things. Maybe the boss is sitting at home, but the young guy is working in the office, and those things are things which the top management has to call out. And once you make the environment simple and good and fun, and please understand, I'll again harp on the fact that the office environments are very young now, and the way offices used to function before COVID are not the way the offices will function post-COVID. It used to be before Christ and after Christ. It is now before COVID and after COVID. That's how the world is working now. And you have to be cognizant of this fact that the young people want a very different environment around them. And if you don't cater to that, sooner or later you will have the burnout issues, and the impact will be on the office productivity. And that's something which the top person has to ensure. Probably the top person has to be the first person out of office and check whether how many people are staying back and for what reasons are they staying back. They're staying back to gossip, that's a separate issue. But if they're staying back to work, is there a need for more people? Are people getting overworked? Or what is the issue? It's very simple. I mean, if you keep it very simple and make the environment conducive to people wanting to come to work, a lot of these issues can be tackled.
And how does Mirai incorporate feedback from the employees if they are getting enough sleep or not? How do you take that feedback?
It's not possible to get that feedback. I'm pretty sure nobody is going to walk up to say, hey, I haven't slept, so I'm not working right. You have to wake up to the cues that come about. And cues are very, very visible. I mean, it's very easy because see, our job in that way is simplified from say a manufacturing organization. We are mostly a sales-led organization. There is a fund management part. Now the fund management part is the critical part of the business, and they have to sleep well. Let me tell you, if they don't sleep well, then things can go pretty wrong for all of us. But their job is a job of high stress. I mean, you're talking about burnout. One of the highest amount of burnouts happened with asset management fund managers. So to ensure that their work environment is good, but I'm pretty sure nobody will walk up to you and tell you that I'm not sleeping well. You have to watch out, and that's where a good HR, HR which makes things inclusive for people to talk to each other, or form. We're trying to form some good social groups within ourselves, support groups where people talk to each other on these things. I don't think, from my personal experience of around 28 years of working in financial services, which sees a fair amount of burnout, people coming out to talk. Yes, it's a challenge, but we have to figure out a way. What we can do is, what is our control level, give a good, relaxed environment to people.
All right, that is a very good takeaway for all our viewers. Dr. Rajesh, I'll take the last question to you. You have a huge sample size on your hand of Reliance. How are you basically helping your corporate employees sleep better? What are the policies that are in place, and what can corporates do to help their employees sleep better now?
We are dealing with something approximately 3.5 lakh employees and family members across. Now, regarding coming to the corporate policies for health and well-being, it's included everything in health and well-being. You have to be what other speakers told. By evening, you have to finish your time. You have to go back, number one. Second, having a good culture and habits of no alcohol, no smoking. We don't have a smoking at all across locations inside. We also say no smoking at all, because smoking is one of the dangerous things. And we try to say policy by no alcohol at all, but we understand also that's something we going thing. And third thing, mostly what other speakers told, this screen time in the night. We always tell them this social media and other things, see that what is the limit you have to think over it, otherwise having. And basically what we are gradually emphasizing on two things. One is your emotional health. That is more important in nowadays post-pandemic also, and across globe also. The emotional health, where we have a one agency also we have taken for 24/7 on the call. For anything, any person is getting some anxiety, some disturbance, they can call the centers immediately, they can get a counselor, they can get any help immediately as a first aid. And second, our doctors have been trained across organization, few doctors for taking care of emotional health, how to do a counseling, how to do all these things. Two, and third, basically we are emphasizing on also on the physical health. And physical health comprise of diet, which is most important aspects in one. And second is the exercise, which is also how to what small exercise you can do, whether you can walk 30 minutes, 40 minutes daily, or you can break even the exercise, you can use the lifts and other things. And most important effect is stress management. This is the most important effect. And that's we are having a regular sessions also. And during health checkup, we have a stress questionnaire also, where we understand who is having from mild stress, who's having moderate, because some stress is needed, but who are having a more stress, we are dealing with the counseling and other aspects. But impact of the organization, across organization, the main objective is to every employee and their family members should be fit and healthy, and focus is on the holistic health now. Total approach, not one-sided focus. Total approach is on the holistic health.
All right. Okay, that is a good takeaway for our HRs who will be watching this. Mr. Deshpande, what kind of initiatives or programs does Kurlon have in place to promote employees' well-being and better sleep? Since you guys promote better sleep and good sleep as your product, and how do you help your employees who have sleep disorders and health conditions that affect their sleep?
In fact, before COVID also, we had a lot of flexi working hours. People do obviously large sales and manufacturing, different shifts and different travel and all. So we have a flexi hour so that in previous day, if they have traveled and if they have to come a little late for work, we have a flexi hours working. Work from home is post-COVID, it's become hybrid working. And we do a lot of internal exercises of the de-stress, team building, those activities and all. And as Mr. Mohanty was mentioning that we have taken a call that after 6 p.m., no business calls. And we strictly obey that. And we don't make other employees to take any stress on the business part. And we ensure that before 6 p.m. it gets resolved, or if it's any issues and concerns. And with this, a lot of corporates have tied up with us to advise and suggest what kind of mattress to be used at a different their life stage and their age, single or married, or depending on the body type. And we do have health practitioners and advisors in association with us, and we develop product accordingly. And we do advise to a lot of corporates on the product, which mattress to be used for what type of lifestyle. Because India is versatile in terms of geographical, topographical, and the sleep patterns are different. You will be surprised to know that we make more than 10,000 different sizes and varieties. In business, we call SKUs. So many different business sleep patterns Indian consumers have it. And at Kurlon, we are also working on power nap breaks. So very soon we'll come back to all our employees on the power nap breaks. So that will help a lot. And every time we check with our employees, how's the Josh? Morning at 9 a.m. or even if it's 6 p.m., Josh is always high. So we ensure that at Kurlon.
All right. I hope a lot of corporates pick up the power nap breaks from this conversation here. And to end this panel here, I'd like a message from all of you, one by one, a message to all the employees and employers this World Sleep Day.
You can have everything in life, but if you don't have a good health, nothing can be enjoyed. So good health starts with a good sleep. So have a great sleep every time and every night and every time you should have it. That's the message from Kurlon.
Mr. Ankur Sharma.
Recharge yourself for 1/3 of your life so that the 2/3 of life can be lived to the fullest.
All right. Mr. Mohanty.
We just saw the 2 years of our life being taken away and sticking at home for COVID. We need to make up for those 2 years by doing everything we want for the rest of our lives. That can happen if we are fit, and we can only be fit if we get our 8 hours of sleep intact. So sleep well and be happy and lead your life well post that.
Dr. Rahul Sharma.
I think this is very, very important that everyone should not, ignore the sleep pattern of our life. All said and done, if you feel that you are still not sleeping well, talk to your sleep specialist.
Dr. Rajesh, the last word from you.
Be happy, because if one person is happy always in the life, other things always taken care.
Well, this has been an extremely informative session with all of you. I hope our viewers take away the best of advices and benefits from them. Thank you, Mr. Deshpande, Dr. Sharma, Mr. Sharma, Dr. Rajesh, and Mr. Mohanty for these wonderful insights on World Sleep Day. Kurlon presents Good Sleep Equals Good Health, an Ignite BS marketing initiative. Kurlon, India's #1 mattress brand, helping India sleep healthy.